enough for today. So let's watch It's Okay from Chores for Two.
That's me. I'm Ellie. Don't feel bad. It's okay. It was a long time ago. 1962. I just thought maybe you don't know about me. My parents didn't want me anyway. The doctors worked with scientists, and they took my organs out as soon as I was aborted. It had to be done right away because the organs need to be fresh. It's okay. It wasn't just me. There were 32 of us. They sent our organs to the United States for the experiments. It was my lung they ended up using. Fetal cell line WI38. 38 because that's how much experiments they did on us. Fetal cell lines are used for all kinds of things, like vaccines. Mine was used to make MMR. You probably gave that one to your baby. I was one of the first fetal cell lines, but there's lots more from lots more babies. It's okay. I just thought maybe you haven't heard of us.
Hello, I'm David. I was killed a few years after Ellie. It's okay. The doctor said my mom had psychiatric reasons to not want me. My lung made MRC5. 5 because it took 5 babies. Perhaps you had my shots? Rabies, polio, chickenpox.
Heck, 293 came from me. I'm Joanna. Did you hear about me? They used my cell line just now for the COVID vaccines. Heck, human embryonic kidney. But I wasn't an embryo. I was 3 months gestation. It's okay. No one knows how many babies it took for Heck 293. But there was 293 experiments. So it was a lot of babies. And no pain medication that was ruining the cells. It's okay. I'm Jordan.
They used my cell line to help with the COVID vaccines as well.
Percy 6. They took my eyes. It's okay. I'm Bo. In 2015, China tried something new for me and 8 other babies. It's called water bag abortion. To keep us alive as long as possible so the organs will be fresh. My lung made the Wolvax 2 cell line. I'm not going to be the last one, though. There's going to be more after me. And me. And me.
And me.
And me. It's okay.
okay.
It's okay. We just thought you ought to know.
Experiments were being performed on near-term alive aborted babies who were not even afforded the mercy of anesthetic as they writhed and cried in agony. And when their usefulness had expired, they were executed and discarded as garbage.
It's okay.
Wow. That's heavy.
Dang it, Laura. Oh, man.
That, like,
Like, so
is
well,
real heavy.
real heavy, so well produced. Like, I have to give so much credit. Like, the videos that Laura's been making, the first one, which she made called The Procedure, like, reacting in the same way. And the second one, which she had, that one was very different. It was more of just a comedic representation of IVF and surrogacy. And that one was, yeah, it was sort of funny, but it was still it still hit you. You still were hit with the understanding of what you were watching. This one it's so similar to that first one, and it says something that most people are unwilling to hear. And the reason that they're unwilling to hear it is that in our society, we have gone along with the idea that the ends justify the means in all circumstances. And what I'm referring to, and it's clearly seen in the video, that these were children which were sacrificed in the name of making vaccines. And I don't think that, like, I'm certainly not someone who's going to be speaking out. I'm not going to be someone who's going to be saying that vaccines are a terrible thing. I don't think they are. But I think that humanity has dropped and has lowered the expectation and the value of human life to such a point that this is simply just a step in the road. And that's something go ahead.
How many vaccines were made before we started mass aborting babies? I mean, we were making vaccines before the 60s and before the 50s and 60s. And we didn't need aborted babies then. I mean,
yeah,
that it's just, it's not acceptable. And this is also why there's so many people that will sit there and be like, well, but we don't want to, it's people's individual choice. And why there's a push for it is not because of, I think that some of this push for, well, it's got to be up to people's individual choice, isn't for the fact that they just want, they want these abortions around to use for scientific experiments. We would, Nuremberg, like, seriously, we were executing people for doing crap like this.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I mean, it's
like we've now become
okay.
Well, it's and that's sort of like it was funny. I was deliberately not watching the video, but I was listening and watching to some of the commentary and some of the comments that were posted on Laura's page, and they're like, "Oh, it's not okay." And she's like, "Why is the video titled It's Okay?" Well, because it's to highlight that it's not. Because so many people are, it's like, "Oh, well, it's saved this many lives, and so therefore it's okay if we sacrifice a few." Like the whole idea, I think it was Spock in the original Star Trek series, where it's like the needs of the many argument. And I get that, but this is not a necessary sacrifice. You're not saying this, you either have one group of people that has to die or another group of people that has to die. It's these children did not have to be sacrificed in the name of producing a vaccine, which, yes, ultimately did save lives. But it was an unnecessary sacrifice because instead of going about and producing a vaccine in a proper, ethical manner, they're producing a vaccine using a shortcut, and using a shortcut that should violate every ethical and moral standard that we have.
And what you're referencing is, the needs of the many outweigh the few or the one.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, the ends justifying the means.
Yes.
Is really what that amounts to. And it's the ends never justify the means. I don't care what it is. And especially when it comes to, we're not talking about abortions happening at 5 weeks or 6 weeks, which are still wrong. I'm not trying to say that, oh, that would be okay, but we're talking about like 36 weeks,
mm-hmm.
or no, 3 months, That's 4, 12. They're 4, 8, 12 weeks
Yep.
and beyond. And wait a second, where is it that they want to? Where is the cutoff? Everyone seems to want.
15.
Why is it 12 or 15? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny how that is.
Well,
Almost as
these are
if
things they don't want you thinking about, Dan.
it's
Kind
almost
of.
as if they want the cutoff just past when they can sit and use them for experiments.
Well, and something interesting that happened to the maker of this film is she was releasing little snippets of these films on TikTok. And China was
Banned.
she got banned for 10 years because they did not like the fact that she was highlighting their role in this tragedy. And so, yes, it's clearly not okay. And, like, we don't want to rehash the same points too many times, but this one hit really hard. This one hit hard, and it should hit hard to anybody watching. Like those, it hurts me when I see people and they see a video like this and they're like, "Oh, that's a doctored image." It's like you know nothing of any sort. You have no understanding of human reproduction. You have no understanding of human development. All you're doing is trying to soften the blow because you have to feel that emotionally, spiritually, and psychosocially. Everyone who watches a tiny person being ripped apart, you would have to be a sociopath to not react viscerally to that.
I mean, it's one thing, because there are people who are definitely more stoic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not going to show it. But if your stomach doesn't turn, like, you know, I didn't sit and break down and everything, but my stomach was roiling through that.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not super stoic, but and I definitely brought a tear to my eye.
Oh yeah.
And stuff, but my stomach was turning over during that. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah. Well, that was the third video, I believe. I'm not sure, Laura, if there's going to be 6 or 8, but I think we're in to watch all of them because these are messages that people need to hear, and it hurts, and it's hard. But if you don't have the wherewithal to listen to a message that you don't want to hear, then you need to reevaluate your situation and your mentality. Because we have to be willing to listen to people that we don't want to listen to. We have to be willing to messages that make us feel and that make us hurt, especially if it's something that needs saying. But that's live reaction for It's Okay. We're now going to switch over